We are thrilled to have Senator Mike Lee from the great state of Utah with us tonight. He's going to say a few words and then introduce Dr. Brannon. So, Mike Lee, thank you for being here, and we welcome you to Charlotte Motor Speedway. Thank you. Thanks for being here.
Okay, so I've been in North Carolina all day today. I flew in from Washington, D.C. last night, and I have to say it is great to be back in America. This is a great place. You've got good, strong Americans here. You've got people who love freedom, who love our country, who believe, as I do, that America is a special place. It's not like other countries. It's a land where men and women were meant to be free, where men and women were meant to live in an environment in which they can find better circumstances in their lifetime. It's unique in the sense that, anywhere else in the world, the rich can live well. But in America, you can be born in poverty and you can die wealthy. Most wealthy Americans today can remember a time when their own family was poor. These things are not because of our government. They're not because of who we are. They're because of the things that we do. They're because of the fact that we, as free individuals, come together and we form families, we form societies, we form churches and synagogues, and we participate in a free market economy, and those are the things that enable upward economic mobility. All of those things are made possible only because we understand that the power of government is limited, and we get the relationship between government power and individual liberty. When government becomes more powerful, it does so at our expense. We become incrementally less free and incrementally less well off whenever government expands. We need it, but we need it to operate within its boundaries. This document sets the boundaries.
Amen.
Amen.
Sadly, this document has been overlooked for far too long. It was written by the hands of wise men raised up by their Creator for this very purpose, to make us free. But it makes us free only if we follow it. We've got far too few in Washington who are willing to read it, much less follow it. Fortunately for you in North Carolina, you've got a candidate who has read the document. He's not only read it, he's digested it, he understands it completely. And his name is Greg Brannon. This guy's amazing. It goes far beyond the fact that he's just read it and that he understands it. He lives it, he breathes it, he thinks it, he sleeps it. This man quotes the Constitution more, with greater fluidity and a greater degree of comfort and familiarity than perhaps any other candidate I've ever met. The only other one that comes close is a guy named Ted Cruz, who came from a different state. The fact is, we need Greg Brannon in Washington. We need him now more than ever, and I happen to think that Greg Brannon was brought forward for this very purpose, for this time. We need him. Please send him to me, and thank you for your support of Greg.
Well, thank you so much, Senator Lee, for doing this. I want to get you home. He's flying home with his family tonight, and we got to get him home as soon as we possibly can. Those who know me, my family's everything. Today has been a phenomenal day. The opportunity to be Senator Lee with Brian, with Riley, and my lovely wife Jody, my boy Pete. We started the day off with my 3 little girls, they were pretty good. Pretty good. We're in a constitutional crisis. We're there because we don't have men and women like Senator Lee, Senator Cruz, Senator Paul. They should be the majority, not the minority there. Our country's phenomenally talked about because our country, our founders understood who was our creator. He endowed us with certain rights, not the government, he did. Among those, life. From the moment of conception to natural passing. Liberty with its free responsibility and the pursuit of your happiness. The only legitimate role of a government is to protect the individual's inalienable rights. That's all it's supposed to do. And it's getting its power from consent of the governed. So the sovereign is giving their consent to have unbiased umpires for you to live your dream. Regardless of your age, the color of your pigment, your religion, it doesn't matter, or lack thereof religion. And the moment a government oversteps those bounds, Jefferson listed 20 things he called tyranny. What's awesome is, we just must stand up now. We the sovereigns are here. The Constitution, Henry said, restrains the government, not the people. There are 6 laws. There are 3 laws in those 6 pages. In those 6 pages, only 3 crimes: treason, piracy, and counterfeit. Now we have, he was talking about today, that now the Obamacare has led to 86,000 pages of regulations. Amazing. It's tyrannical. The Bill of Rights does not grant one single right. It just lists God-given natural rights in which the federal government can never, ever infringe upon. And the 9th Amendment protects the individual, and the 10th, the state. What's beautiful is we have that structure. We, the sovereigns, must just stand up and accept that now, and our responsibility. Compromise on core principles is not compromise at all. It's defeat.
Amen.
2 things. There are 2 things you'll know about me that I'll never walk away from. That's life. And I'll never compromise on life. My belief in the safety of life is well established, and I'll never run from that. And number 2 is the Constitution. My honor and my oath is to that. Article 6. I've given it for 26 years, made a Hippocratic oath, and I've never wavered. Nor I will waver on this if given this opportunity. To say about this is Greg's time to be here, I believe it's our generation's time to be here. We are here for a reason and a purpose. We must not be the generation that Washington warned about. He said the generation that passes on any debt to another generation is the worst of them all. He said the amount of tyranny you'll accept is the amount of tyranny you'll live under. So it's our generation's turn to ask the same questions that they asked. They pledged their life. They pledged their fortune. But most importantly, they pledged their sacred honor. It's our turn to do that. And I know some of you have already heard me say this, but I believe that call to action is what Franklin did to that generation. When Washington was there on that chair for 5 straight months, when they were debating what kind of rule of law, not rule of men, they were putting on a piece of paper, he stood at that half of a sun engraved in that chair. And he asked that generation very clearly concerning the American exceptionalism, the American Republic, the individual, the collective. Was that an American sunrise or sunset? We made mistakes. We had people with darker pigment we called property. We got through that. We had women with all full rights. We got through that. And don't forget, Frederick Douglass, Susan B. Anthony, Martin Luther King were Republicans. They'd be Tea Party people today. So when we bond on the commonality of us being made by our Creator's image. We do that. The next 30, 40 years is going to be America's best. So I'm in with that same thing today. I believe there's a time of revolution occurring, not of anything other than ideas. And to run back to run to the future, we got to go back. Henry says our only guidepost to history is the lampstand of the future, is the lampstand of history. We've got to go back. We've got to know what happened and why it happened. We take those core principles and apply them to the future. We're going to be the best. Orwell talked about that. In the ultimate day of deceit, when people are calling good evil and evil good, in the ultimate day of deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act.
Amen.
So I'm asking you to join us. Join this campaign to be revolutionaries. We do this, we change history. So there's our, I will leave with our final question. Same one Franklin asked concerning the American exception. To that little baby in the womb, are we going to pass on a sunrise or a sunset? I believe our generation is going to pass on that sunrise. Thank you very much. Before he heads off to the airport, and again, I can't thank him enough for his wonderful opportunity coming this minute.